It does not say in a push-up, but that will be harder. If they start a little bit closer in a squat, it will be a little bit easier, and then they'll squat on and jump off. If that's too easy, they may start in a push-up. Just make sure it's a decent enough push-up to where they're actually going to make it over the bar. If they're all the way back this way, and it's not even a push-up, that's not going to work. Their feet may get to the end of the mat. They're going to go, okay, so then it will scoot back. So all they're going to do is start in a squat on the floor, that's fine. And from there, they're going to hop their feet back into the push-up and then squat on. And then advanced will do, we don't have to, but it'll be raised up to the third one, and they'll squat on so they actually have to go uphill and squat on from the floor. That one's fine. That one, they will jump to front support and forward roll for beginner. Whoop. Jump to front support, then 3 casts in a row for intermediate. And then for advanced, they'll have their little mini routine that you don't have to do. But they'll do a glide, then they'll pull over 3 casts, and then a back hip circle, and then they can get down. There's no dismount that we're going to start quite yet. Beginner for the octagon station, they're going to do glide swings with a small octagon. So they'll jump and swing back and forth however many times they can, or one time, again, totally up to you. If they're already good at a singular glide swing, I would highly suggest advising them at least try doing multiple in a row, or maybe they can try and jump and then do it, but don't just let them sit there and get bored, because it's easy for them. There's always something you can do to each station without changing it completely to make it harder for each kid, but that means you're going to have to pay more attention to what each kid needs and not the entire group as a whole. So, intermediate over there, they will do an actual jump, so they'll swing their arms, jump to the bar, and then glide swing. And advanced will then do, where are we? Front hip circles. Not doing it. On the other one, they're going to do, where are we at? Oh, that one will be raised. They're going to do chin-up pullovers with your spot, legs together the entire time. Okay, let's pretend she's really small, and then you will help with her legs, and then make sure her legs don't fly back up on the way back. If they fly up on the way back, that's when they fall back forward. So if you put your hand behind their legs, or your whole arm, depending on how comfortable you are with them, that will make sure that they actually can pull over and finish at the end. Intermediate's the same thing. Back hip circles there for advanced. That one is our pullover drill. We're not going to start with the. Well, there's another bar, and we have blue, so. We're not going to start with a bucket and an object. Yet. We're just going to solely focus on them trying to get their chins to the bar and their legs and hips up. So they'll hold that in their feet. They're going to try and hold their chin up to the bar and bring their hips and drop over. As long as their hips are up off the ground, their legs are straight, and their chin is somewhat near the bar, they're doing it right. Anything other than that, please make sure you're fixing that as you go. Everyone's doing that there. And then here, for octagons, you're going to do shape rocks, which is just a push-up. When you do these, it is not back, come back to push-up. It is forward, pass, push-up, back, pass, push-up. A lot of them will just shoot straight back and just fling their body backwards. That's not it. Please don't let them do that. All the way forward, all the way back. It is not fast. And then they need to be feeling their arms doing the movement and not their body. You can push and pull the bar, and that's what some of them have troubles with doing. That's why they can't push up. That's why they can't do back hip circle or pull over, any of those things. They don't know how to pull and push the bar, so that's what we're trying to do there. Not just free-nilly rock back and forth. Then for intermediate, they're going to do those, but they're going to hold it for 3 seconds each time. So rock forward, hold for 3 seconds, rock backwards, hold for 3 seconds. Yeah, however many times they can before they have to come down. And then advanced will do pike ups. So hands on the bar, and then your butt comes up in the air. Yep. This one, they're going to do wrist shifting on their knees. So they'll be in a push-up on their knees, and all they're going to do is move the bar back and forth with their wrist. Please tell them to go slow. If they go too fast, they will roll that wrist under real quick, and we don't want to do any of that. Same thing for intermediate, except they're going to be in a push-up, which is going to be a little bit harder to make sure that they don't roll forwards. So they'll have to go a little bit slower, and they'll be better off more so rocking backwards than anything. And then same thing for you there, except if it's too hard, you can, or too easy, you can like do a little bit harder too. That's it for that one. Whoop! On to me. We're already right here. What is that?
Oh, and then on bars, can you please make sure your kids are landing on their feet and not letting go of the bars? And if you tell them to do that more than one time, they can sit up. Because they're not getting their kids that hurt. Right here. So they can't lay on their feet.
Is that it? Okay, I didn't know if you were still or you were talking to someone. Okay, that one for beginner, they're gonna hold an arabesque and their foot's gonna hover over the pit block. They cannot touch it, but anywhere above it is totally fine. So if all they can get to is right there, cool. If they can go higher, also cool. As long as it's not touching the pit block. Intermediate will do a passe hold. They're gonna balance the pit block on their knee, and then they're gonna try and raise up to releve for 2 seconds, balancing it on their knee. Yep. The easier it'll it'll be way harder the further out the pit block is on their knee. So if they are kind of small and their leg does not stick up to 90, it will fall off if it's not right here. So they're not going to get it no matter how hard they try. So make sure it's back to have them touch it to their bellies at least. If not, try and squish it in there. That way they actually have to hold their leg up too. Again, just finding little things to make it easier for them. And snap turns. On the other side, they're going to do lever to lunge and beginner touching the pit blocks at the beginning. So they start up and they go down, same thing. At some point, we need to get their hands and their foot attached. Do not expect that right off the bat unless you have repeating level kids. And in turn, you're then going to have to probably correct those who haven't done these a lot more. So if you feel the need to spot, please do so. Especially since in beginner, they're what, 5 to 7? So they are almost just as small as over there when they switch. So if they're not really grasping what you're saying without them feeling it, you're going to need to do that here too. You can't just talk to them. Some of them you can, but again, that goes back to making sure you're paying attention to what each kid needs and how they learn, and not just your entire class, because your entire class is not the same. Then intermediate will do, they're going to do lever to lunge, but they're, this one's going to be hard. Okay, so it's going to be behind their foot, kind of like it was there. They're going to start hovering over, and then they're going to go down, and then they're going to come back to hovering over it. So they actually have to control what's going on when they go down and back up. And that way they have to lift their body up. I didn't want you to whack the thing. Without their foot just slamming right back down. That should help a little bit with the back side of their core being able to lift them up high enough. Then handstands there for advanced. On the next one, they're going to do, for beginner, they're going to do straight jumps with an arm swing. The easiest way, if they don't understand to do an arm swing and a jump at the same time, is they start with their arms by their ears. Down is 1, the jump is 2. There's no way that anybody can really mess up. That's been the easiest way that we've gotten kids to do it so far. If you need to break it down even further, this is 1, this is 2, that's 3. Either way, whatever they grasp better is totally fine. Then 2 straight jumps in a row, both have to have an arm swing. The intermediate, same thing, there's no pause, it should feel like it's just going. So if they're stopping too much, then you can correct them and tell them it should feel like they don't stop moving until both are done. That's an easy way to explain that to them too. And then you'll do straight jump and then split jump there for your kids. On the other side. Beginner will hold a releve for 10 seconds. Easy peasy. Then they will do releve hold for 10 seconds, pivot turn. Again, super easy, straight from the skill sheet. So yes, you can put whatever date your first class is to start for your start date in your books for most of these games, which will be really helpful. And then advanced will do dismounts, so that either one. Was he? Yeah, whichever one they can do, because I know they can do both. On the floor beam, everybody's gonna pick a skill that they'd like to do. Some examples would be forward rolls, backward rolls, cartwheels, handstands, back walkovers, bridge, kick over, handstand, ball, bridge, kick over. Anything like that. dimension, any acro skills. So jumps don't count, turns don't count, leaps don't count, any of that. Anything that gets them to do an actual form of acrobatics is what you're looking for. That way they get more comfortable when they go up to somewhere higher. Because you can then be like, oh, you did a cartwheel and landed it on the beam, but you won't do a lever that's like 3 levels below that. So that helps in your case, in your case too. And that's for everybody. So again, kind of also remind them to pick skills up to their level. If they cannot do a cartwheel, there is no sense on them standing there trying to do a cartwheel for 5 minutes while they're at that station. On the other beam, this one is our kind of split it in half beam-ish per se. Throw that star down that way, because it'll be on that side. They'll hop up, there will be a, we need to go up there now first. Straddle feet behind. Yeah, I'm gonna send it. That's what their mouth is. So they'll do it on the end. There will be a mat underneath for them if they're too small. They're more than welcome to use it if they don't need it, but it's kind of personal preference. They'll hop up, beginner will do walk forward, backwards, sideways, only going halfway. If you would like a piece of chalk that is not going to fall off the second you draw it on there, let me know. I can give you some, so you can draw it halfway, but that's kept in my office. So if you need it, let me know, or if you want to mark it with something else, that's totally fine. Flat, yeah. So walk forward, backwards, sideways, then you did all that, and then at the end, whenever they get to, they should be halfway again, they'll straight jump onto the other side, because there is a nice lovely mat there, and not onto someone who's doing a forward roll. On me.
They should be shooting for that mat and not directly in front. You know what I mean? You don't want them landing on the
That's just leaps for you, so we don't need that for anything. Like you need to start from here. In socks is wild. For intermediate, all they're doing is the exact same thing except instead of walking, they'll be doing kicks. Again, flat-footed, not in relevant quite yet. So forward, backwards, sideways. At the end of that one, they're going to do their sideways dismount, which means you will probably have to help them. And that have to help you. The easiest way to do it is to be on their backside. Breathe. Not nice work if you're standing with their stomach facing you while they're coming down. Okay, they will not be all the way up. Please do not try and force them to go all the way up, especially if they are uncomfortable. If they seem nervous right here, do not force that upon them. They are not ever going to trust you to spot them for anything. And that will be a fight tooth and nail every time. It still happens to this day, no matter what level they're in. It's such a fun time, isn't it? So, you have to make sure that they feel safe so they will go. Even if you think they're ready, they're not going to do it without some fight back, at least. So, when you're moving like horizontal, 45, we'll make sure that they have their hips straight, and then as soon as you don't have a hold of them anymore, stop following them. Let them go. Otherwise, you will now come across this beam and go through. But you don't want to do that. That is the only way we do those. The easier way to do it if you are too short and you don't want to wait for them to get all the way up is you start with them and then go with them. So you'll start their hand there and have more so a hold of front and back go the other way. And then come down. So either start on the side, hand front back, follow them, or stand on the back side, hold their sides, depending on how comfortable they are and how comfortable you are.
Am I standing on the sides so the kid is landing on the kid on the podium, or am I standing on the sides so my back is to
This will be down that way. So your beam will be down this way. That way they straight jump off that side and they dismount off this side and we don't hit anybody. As long as it's set up that way. That's how it should be set up. That way we don't end up on children. One is on this side, the other is on that side. Also, this beam does not go on the crack. This little piece of tape rips every single time this mat moves. So the more we put it on this crack, it's just going to keep ripping across that seam, right there where the tape is. So just in the middle of these two or closer to the line, but totally up to you as long as it's not on. And not towards the bit. Because if you have kids starting there or they're waiting in line, they wait in the middle of that walkway waiting for their turn. That's why it's supposed to be down here, not in the middle. And that's why that's okay. And then we have more room to do one station versus the other. So every time there's a beam and there's stations where we're exiting the beam, When you're walking, they will be on the side for the beam. If there's many routines without a dismount, they will be on the side with the beam. So nobody gets jumped on or landed on. Or this person flies over there and messes them up. So on and so forth.
If you have kids purposely throwing themselves off the beam after you know they can do something and they can do it safely, give them a few times, correct them. If they can't listen, sit them down. We are running into too many times where kids are potentially getting hurt. We have to put a stop to that.
That also comes from what you tell them before you start. If you just go through the stations and read these, they're not going to do anything you're even thinking of. So if you're done in a minute, that's too fast. You need to be telling them what it should look like or feel like. That way it's easier for you to, not just them. That way you can watch what's going on and still be able to know exactly what you said before. That way if you have to sit somebody out, you can go back and be like, look, we went over this at the beginning. You've taken 5 turns already. You know what I expect. Please go sit down. You are not the bad guy for making the class more enjoyable for everyone else, including yourself.
Especially if it's a safety reason.
Yeah.
There's no reason you should be spending half the class telling a kid to stop doing something when you have to worry about everybody else. If it's a safety concern, nip it in the bud right away. And if it doesn't work, send them to me.
We'll go over here in a sec with how to also do without at the end because after classes have changed also. Up there, when you're in beginner, you're going to do pivot turns, reaching the star for the ceiling. So back, forth, the star should not move. Saved it. You're then going to do, what are those called? Oh, you'll balance, you don't need a star. You're gonna balance and passe. The easiest way to do this is if they do it rather fast. Okay, you cannot work on your balance if your eyesight does not change. The whole thing on that the other day. So they're going to look at least 5 different places before they come down with their head moving. So either up, or down, or to the side, or to the other side, or over at you, or over at their friend. Something. It will be extremely hard. It shouldn't be, but it is. It's supposed to be until their balance is better. And you can't really work on it just standing here. I wouldn't recommend closing their eyes though. If they ask you if you can do that, the answer is probably no. And then advanced will be released.